Good morning, my name's Dave Mansell. Welcome to Midland Gundogs. Today we're going to start on how we teach our dogs to walk to heel. This is a real big issue I do get from a lot of clients saying that their dogs are hopeless, they're always pulling and they're sniffing, they're not paying attention. So it all starts with the groundwork, and you've got to make sure that you do the groundwork and the foundations. So I use what's called a slip lead. Okay, I make these up myself. They're pretty hard to get here in Australia. You have to either get them from the UK. Okay, so there is a right and a wrong way. You always make sure that the ring is at the top. That way when you pulls, it releases. Okay, you do it the other way, the dog's just going to use it as a pulling thing. It'll stay tight and they'll pull you like a freight train. Okay, if you don't have one of these, that's not a problem. I did actually start out on a flat collar and a flat lead. All right, probably not this long, probably a bit shorter. Okay, so you can use that to teach your dog how to walk to heel. Okay, the only reason I use slip leads is because I work with dogs in the field. They're easier to get on and off than a collar, and a collar can get attached to trees, undergrowth and all that sort of stuff, and the dog can get caught. And especially if they're in the middle of some blackberry bushes trying to flush out rabbits, if they get caught, it's going to be very difficult for me to get in there without getting scratched and pulled by the blackberry bush itself. So that's why we use these. So we're just going to go on. There's 100 videos out there on how to walk to heel. The biggest thing for me is to try and transition that walking to heel in a sterile environment, which is an environment with no distractions whatsoever. The dog's totally focused on you and the activity, and then gradually increasing a different area as the dog's getting better and better at walking to heel. All right, let's get to it.
All right, so when we move from a sterile environment, this is not a completely sterile environment because there is a lot of sheep poo in this paddock. So it's a little bit of a distraction, and he wants to, Sherlock here, our Clumber Spaniel, wants to go down and eat and smell the sheep poo. So what we're trying to do is just try to keep him engaged with me, get his head up. I do a couple of retrieves. I might even give him and he can carry the dummy whilst we're doing the walking to heel. It just drags his head up, so that way his mouth's already occupied, so he's not going to try and eat stuff. He might drop it every now and again, but then we distract him and we do something else. I'll throw him another dummy and bring him back to me. It's all about keeping him engaged with you and not the environment. So once again, same thing, we're just doing some more walking to heel, this time off lead, but I'm using the fence line to keep him at heel. So if he wants to move forward and try to get in front of me, I will close the gap using the fence line. I'll just close the gap, and that way he goes back into the heel position. You could actually leave the lead on in this scenario if you really wanted to, just as an added security, just in case something flushes. So then we change the environment, we do a walking to heel on lead. Okay, we go back to the basics in a new environment. Don't expect the dog's going to walk to heel with no lead and just go off and go, oh my gosh, especially clumbers, they love smelling stuff. So we go back to stage one, which is back on lead. So that way he knows what the expectation is we're walking to heel, you keep close to me, we're not self-employing with the environment. Okay, so like again, I keep it short with a Clumber Spaniel because they like variety. They just really like variety. So once they don't get that variety, they disengage and start engaging with the environment. So I've got to keep myself on my toes. So we're going to do another retrieve because he loves retrieving. And I also vary what we're doing. So he might be a retrieve as an engaging thing. It might be a bit of food. It might be a tennis ball that he can hold. I vary it up because that way he doesn't know what's going to happen, and he gets engaged with me. And that's what we want. We don't want him to engage with the environment all the time. Alright, so this time we've gone to our two springers. This is Winston walking to heel in a area which is like a little dam on our property, and it's got a little bit of cover, a little bit of terrain, so it's a little bit different to the dogs. The dogs will see this differently, but we want them to behave the same. We want them to walk to heel. So Winston's a seasoned, this is probably his 4th or 5th hunting season, so he knows to walk to heel, because I don't want him running around in snake and net laden environments, which is near water usually when we're duck shooting. I want him walking to heel, so that way I can see the snake before he does. So this time round I'm just priming our younger dog to show what the expectation is in this environment. He's done a fair bit of work in a sterile environment, on the road. Now we're changing it up and we're doing it in a different environment. So I've got the older dog teaching the younger dog, this is what our expectation is. Go back. And like I said with Sherlock on the road, I go back to the very basics. So I put, this is Dexter, I put him on lead. He's very excited. He's a very excitable dog, loves life. He's just full of zest, but sometimes he can get a bit overzealous, and we need to just sort of get him back and get him calm, get him focused. Hey, this is what we're doing. I know you love what you're doing, and I don't want to discourage that, but this is what we're doing. It's for your own safety. So he's closest to me on lead. Winston's on the outside, just showing him the ropes. Keeping close. You've got the Springer's Spaniel tail wag going. So after I do that with a paired, I'll take Dexter and he can do it by himself. Alright, so that's walking to heel and transitioning from a sterile or non-destructive environment to adding a little bit of distractions and introducing the dog to new areas. Like I said in the video, make sure that you always go back to on lead. That way you decrease the opportunity of the undesirable behaviours of just wandering off and doing their own thing and becoming self-employed. They are focused on you, and you need to maintain that. You can't just expect you've done it this week and the dog's just going to do it every week after. You have to maintain and keep practicing in those environments, in different environments, the same expectation for that concept of walking to heel. So I hope that helps a few people. Hit the like if you liked what you've seen, and yeah, keep training.